And once I told her that, I was like, look, you're not a horrible mom. Don't feel like that. It's just that you weren't taught how to communicate.
My mom's brother does have cancer and he has been going through his chemotherapies. So my mom was kind of holding off to see when she was going to go to Mexico because she didn't want to. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode.
We missed you guys so much. What are you guys up to? Go ahead and comment down below what you guys are doing because we want to know. We're chismosos like that.
But let me let you guys know what we have been up to because it's been a week and it's been a week of opinions. Let's say that's for sure.
A lot of them.
And I didn't think that a lot happened this week, but a lot did happen this week.
Literally.
Well, we ended up going to my mom's house to go visit her, and she was also going to tell us her plans for Mexico and all of that stuff. We ended up eating there at my mom's house. We got some Italian food, some buca, and we ended up talking a little bit about my mom's plans to Mexico. She is super excited. She was originally supposed to go at the end of the month of February, but since I ended up telling my mom, like, look, it's a little too early for me to go out anywhere. Why? Because I have my New York trip coming up. I also have to go to Austin, and I'm also going to Vegas. There's a lot of trips in my books this year, and I couldn't go to Mexico with my mom this time around, but I'm super excited for her because, as I told you guys before, my mom's brother does have cancer and he has been going through his chemotherapies. So my mom was kind of holding off to see when she was going to go to Mexico because she didn't want to fuck up his sessions, and uno nunca sabe that my mom's sick or she brings some type of disease that he can't fight. And of course, in Mexico, sometimes your resources are a little lower than here in the United States. But once my mom called her brother and was like, look, like, if you want, I can go for your birthday. We can go a lot earlier. She was like, let me book that plane, honey.
Yes,
so
dude.
she booked it. Well, she didn't book it. My stepdad booked their flights together. She's leaving this weekend.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully by the time that she comes back, she is graciously on her podcast. And we talk a little bit about how her trip went to Mexico.
Yes, dude, I'm so excited for her. I cannot wait for her to just get there and see her brother after so many fucking years, dude. That's just gonna be the most amazing feeling.
I'm just super excited for her, and I'm super excited for the stories that she's gonna tell me. And she's gonna be there for like a whole weekend, so I'm super excited for my mom. Other than that, we did end up taking Alan's nephews to Disneyland, and I can't believe how like iconic it was. I had such a great time with my kids, and I call them my kids because I really do like take care of them as like my kids. Like when they're with me, I give them their time of day. Honestly, y'all, I feel like I'd be a really good dad. I'm so patient with kids, and I understand how to communicate with them. I was super surprised of how I was able to handle kids that were younger than 10 years old. And mind you, one of them is literally 5 years old. It was super iconic the way I handled everything because yes, kids, no matter what it is, se pelean.
Yeah.
They will argue. They will tell you their truths. They're tired. Quieren de comer. Quieren todo. It was just so good. Like I had such an amazing time with them. They had such an amazing time. The entire time, dude, they were telling me like, oh, I love you, Danny. I love you, Alan.
Dude,
I love you.
También, you guys basically like helped raise them too. They just love you guys so much.
Yeah, and
like,
I love being
love
that
you
like
too,
fun
but,
little uncle that like we can do everything and we're nice to them. We're never rude to them.
Exactly.
And I think they
you know
also
what?
appreciate the fact that like when they get in trouble, I'm not like, don't do that. I'm like, hey, you guys, let's be kind. Let's be mindful. Would you want to get pushed like that? And they're like, no. Okay, so let's not push. And then they'll be like, you're right. And then they just like stir away. So like, I feel like that's a really good thing that I know that I'm going to be like a good dad if I ever have kids.
For sure.
Because I am very patient with kids and I laugh about everything with kids because they're so unserious.
And just imagine like you already being like that with his nephews. Just imagine if you had your own kids.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like, oh my God, Alan, you're gonna have to talk to have the line right there.
No, fuck no, I don't want kids here. No, right now. I have enough with them. If I start feeling like, oh shit, there's no more kids in the family where I want my kids, maybe I will.
Well, Ashley todavía falta.
I know, so hopefully Ashley has her kids before me.
Bitch, imagine.
But you guys, overall, it was such a great experience. I feel like like it was so funny because like since they're very still like developing, you could see their characteristics in like everyone. Like everyone is so different. And not only that, you could see who is like the bossy boss and who's not, and who's scared of each other and who's like the bully.
What was something new that you found out about the kids from this?
Well, you know what? The youngest controls all of them. And the youngest will put everyone in their place. And I love her because she speaks her mind. Like if she's uncomfortable, she'll be like, don't touch me. Get away. I don't think you should do that. I'm not hungry. If I said I'm not hungry, I'm not hungry.
Period.
And girl, mind you, she's like 5 years old.
Yeah, dude.
So like for her to have that type of personality and be able to be like boss people around and like not let anybody walk all over her, like that's so great of her. I love her. I think the funniest thing was the way that they argued. There was like an occasion where Xander, which is the boy, and Yaya, which is the girl, and mind you, they're like 1 year apart. They were like arguing for like a little bit, and then Xander goes up to her and like puckers her lips and says, do you understand? She was just like, what the fuck just happened? And then Xander pushes her and she goes, do you understand? And then Yaya pushes him and he goes, do you understand? So of course me, like I started laughing and then they started punching each other, but like not hard, just like I was like, yeah. When Xander was like, ow, you hurt me, I was like, you guys are not being kind to each other and you guys are hurting each other. Let's not do this and let's have fun, okay? Let's be kind. And she was like, no, but Xander started. And I was like, yes, he did start it, but it's okay. He's already over. Let's not do it anymore. Xander say sorry and let's move on. And he apologized and then we moved on and then they just started being kids again. I feel like you just have to have really good communication with them so like they understand and you don't have to give them long words. And I did also notice there was a time I haven't been on my phone and I was like, okay, well, I'm online, I'm on my phone. But then the kids were like, Danny. I'm already so programmed to be like, well, I'm on my phone, so I'm gonna ignore everything around me. I feel so bad. So I'm like, oh, what's up, buddy? Like, and they don't hold it against me like, oh, you ignored me. But I just noticed that kids just need a lot of attention. Yeah. And I have mentioned here on the podcast that I have said, well, I'm not a parent that I would give iPads to kids. And I had realized it the night before because I was like, oh, what if the kids get like bored or they want to get distracted? I'm going to take the iPad. But I was like, girl, it's Disneyland. There's a lot to look at and I'm not going to ignore them. That's where I'm coming about where like they just need a lot of attention. They have a lot of questions. They have a lot of needs and they have a lot of things. And that's where it's like, okay, well, you have to give them their full attention because it's not their fault that they need attention. And you can't be like, oh, well, you're annoying. Kids are not annoying. In your head, if you say that a kid is annoying, is because you don't have patience for that kid. I learned that I was like, wow, I'm really patient. Towards the end of the night, we ended up going to the shops so like we can buy them stuff, right? Xander ended up getting a sword and Yaya and Sophia ended up getting bubble guns. I feel like Xander feels a little bit more left out because he has two sisters and they're around his age and his oldest brother is 10 years of a difference. He feels sometimes when he's like around the girls, he's like, oh, well, I want to do boy activities. I want to fight with swords. And they're over here like, bubbles.
Yeah.
And then he's, no, not only that, he's like trying to chop their bubbles. And they're like, Xander, stop. And I felt bad. He just wants to play. So I was like, okay, girls, go play over here. I was like, I'll play with Xander. And he was literally like stabbing me like he almost hit people. A kid is not mindful about things around them. But as long as you tell them, hey, Xander, there's people around you. Let's be careful because if you hit someone, you're going to hurt them. Let's just play around me and look around what you're doing, okay? Dude, I promise you, he was so mindful about that. And he was just playing with me. When he stabbed me, I would get on my knees and like pretend I was dead on the floor. Like in the middle of the street. Because it's like these kids don't know any better other than playing games. And like they're out to have fun and nothing is serious to them. So like I'm not there to get them in trouble and I'm not there to ignore them. I just want them to have a good time. Like I don't want them to ever feel like they're alone or that they'll ever come to me and be like, when we were younger, tú me regañaste mucho. You didn't make me feel comfortable. No, I want them to feel as comfortable as possible.
You want them to be able to withhold those good memories.
Yes, and not only that, when I tell you guys that Yaya is like the boss of everyone, she is the boss of everyone, girl. She was literally like telling Xander and Sophia, which is the oldest one, you guys are being wussies. Like you guys can't even go on the ride. Tell me why she wanted to go on, what's that space one? No, the mountain one?
Space Mountain?
No, the mountain one.
Is it the one with
that has the scary monster?
I never remember that one.
Well, Yaya, which is the youngest one, she wanted to go on the big ass roller coaster, and the entire time, as soon as we got there, she's like, I want to get on that one. She did not forget. So the kids were like, no, I don't want to go. Dude, that's the fastest ride there.
Yeah.
So we went on it, dude, and Yaya loved it. But
she was like, yeah.
Yeah, but point was that she makes her siblings brave. We were always like, you guys need to be brave. Like nothing's going to happen to you guys.
She's a leader to that.
And she's like, you guys need to be brave. I'm going on this ride and I don't care. You guys need to come with me. We're all going to be brave.
She's literally the Princess Brave.
Literally. Literally.
Oh my God, dude. I love to hear
But I had
stories
such a good
like
time
this.
with the kids. I love them. I love them so much.
Oh my God, I love the kids so much. So hearing these stories honestly makes me so happy because they really do enjoy themselves. In the meantime, while they were having fun and being at Disney, this girl finally, after so long, got a job. Oh my gosh. She is a hustler. She is scheduled up.
Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this week's episode. Okay, Irma, you know how we're always busy and never have time to cook a real meal?
Ugh, yes. I always end up ordering takeout, and let's be honest, it's not cheap or healthy.
Same, but I just found this perfect solution, HelloFresh. They send pre-portioned ingredients and easy to follow recipes straight to your door, so you can cook delicious meals without the stress.
Wait, so no grocery store lines, no food waste, and I actually get to feel like a chef? I'm all in.
Exactly. Plus, they have a ton of options whether you're into quick meals, veggie dishes, or family favorites. And let me tell you, it's way cheaper than eating out all the time.
Okay, but what about the taste? You know I'm picky.
Trust me, it's so good. And guess what? You can get up to 10 free meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast and use the promo code.
Say less. I'm signing up now. That's HelloFresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast for up to 10 free meals. Go get yours. Bitch. No more depressed era. And it is actually on Amazon Flex. Amazon Flex is like Instacart, but you're actually doing deliveries. You literally have to apply online, and I was on the wait list for months. So honestly, I didn't think I was gonna get accepted anytime soon at all. It was probably like 6 months that I was on the waiting list. And after that, like I would check occasionally, but nothing. And then eventually, once I signed in, it asked me to do all of this stuff to verify me, to watch these videos on how to handle everything, because you do have to use your own card. That's the only thing that does suck, but for the pay, it's not that bad, which I'll get to. The only thing that I did fuck up on was when I was first trying to do it, is I did it for the Riverside area, like the facilities there. I should have done it here in OC, but also those were the ones that were like
the most busiest.
When I got accepted, I was like, okay, ni modo. Like I would have to drive all the way over there for the facilities. When I went to the facility, there was hella cars, dude.
Oh shit.
There were so many people because they come through timestamps. My timestamp was 3:45 a.m. She got up at fucking 2:30 in the morning, make sure that I was fucking like ready and everything in my clothes. And mind you, I forgot it was gonna rain that morning too. Oh, so I didn't even have like a hoodie, sweater, or anything. But good thing I didn't wear like a hoodie or anything, because girl, I was sweating. I'm not gonna lie. And even though it was cold, I'm a sweat mess, especially como soy gordita y todo, like ya sabes, güey, ya sabes. And I go inside, I was just like, okay, what the fuck do I do? And I feel like I've just gotten so used to kind of like handling things through the app, especially through Instacart. I'm happy with that experience because all I did was like, okay, let me go on the app. What does it tell me to do? I already said that I'm parked. Cool. Okay, go to the kiosk and scan this. All right, cool. Where do I need to go? Oh, this station right here. I see a worker. I'm like, all right, where's the worker? I need help because girl, I'm on time crunch too. Like there's a time frame that I need to finish by. And I found someone who was like, hey, I need help. They helped me out. Literally left with the whole cart of packages. This was like about 41 packages that I had to deliver. And this shift was from 3:45 to 8 o'clock p.m. No, a.m. And I see everybody just loading up the cart, but they're scanning. And I was like, why is everybody scanning? What's going on? I don't see a scanner thingy on my end. I asked another person for help again. And I'm so happy I asked this guy. He was like an older gentleman, but like probably in his like 50s or whatever. And it looks like he knew who he was doing and everything. And I was like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. And like, I hope I'm not taking much of your time, just because I know we're probably in a time crunch. But why is everybody scanning? Like, is there a reason or anything? And this guy literally helped me out so good. He literally trained me on my first day, dude.
That's good.
Like, I give him so much props and thank you if you're out there. Like, I appreciate it so much. Literally, he was telling me everything, tips, tricks, what I should do, how to organize my packages, everything, dude. And I was like, wow. If I literally didn't know that, I would have thrown all of the packages in here and I would have not known like how to find the package. Like literally if I just did that and I went to the first stop, I still had to go through and find that package. But the way that he taught me was you scan the item, it'll tell you what number package it is, which is the number stop, and you write it down on the label.
Oh.
And those are the ones that you put either if you want to put the 1 through 10 or 1 through whatever toward like in the front passenger with you, middle 20 to 30s, and the back 40 to 50s. That's exactly what I did. I did not have a pen, so I was just scanning it and putting it in like sections in my car. But when he was done, he was like, here's a pen. And I was like, oh, you're so kind. You don't have to. It's okay. I don't want to like, you
He's
know.
like, let me take you on a date.
Sugar daddy, he got money. I feel like I'm that type of person that if I'm able to go through an app and not deal with like management and all this shit, girl, I'm all fucking in. I feel like those are my favorite type of jobs, if anything, to be honest. Besides from warehouse. Warehouse is cool, but like, you know, whatever. And he gave me the pen. He was like, no, don't worry about it. I have daughters myself. Like, I totally get it. Like, you're so okay. You're fine. And I literally started doing my route. Mind you, I was in fucking Riverside. Well, more Corona area, and I had to drive all the way to Buena Park. And this time, my gas tank was also full as well. So I was keeping that in mind too. Since it was early in the morning, there really wasn't any traffic. It was only a 20-minute drive from Buena Park to Corona, bitch. I've never experienced that. And when I get to Buena Park, so easy, dude. The most easiest shit I have ever had to go through. But the only annoying thing was that it was raining. And since I didn't have like a sweater or anything, my hair was all wet. Like I was just like a mess.
I didn't even have like an umbrella or anything.
No, I didn't have an umbrella or anything. Because también, like, I'm literally just getting off the car, go, da. So to me, to, like, get my umbrella out and then, okay, get my phone, okay, they get the, like, no. Like, for me, I was just trying to be like, okay, yeah, get it done. Because when I got there from 3:45, they give you, like, a 15-minute grace period, like, 10 minutes before and 5 minutes after to get there. And by the time that I left, it was already, like, fucking 4:30. So it took me 45 minutes just to get the packages in my car and organized. So that made me lose basically time. So I was worried that I wasn't going to finish on time with these orders. So once it finally got to like 7:55, I only needed 3 more packages. I will say the last package, it was literally 8 o'clock and it said late. So they are very punctual about these like time frames of packages. But once I finished that shift, guys, I got paid immediately.
That's good.
I was able to cash out. Like, girl.
So like one shift and done.
In one shift and you're done. And if you want to continue doing more, you can. You just have to refresh and see if there's any available for the later that day, the next morning.
So what, you get paid per packages, per gas, per miles,
it depends
per
on the
hour?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. But it says for the amount of hours and then it tells you the amount it pay. So, for example, the time frame that I did, I got paid $98.
Oh.
So that's what, 4 hours? 3:45.
Yeah, 4 hours.
4 hours divided by 98. That's what? 98. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8. $25 each hour.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's
but
not
then you
bad.
also have to put gas.
Yeah. Oh, and then going back with the gas, I actually didn't waste too much gas.
Oh, really?
So mine has like 13 like dot thingies, and it only wasted like 4.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
It's really good. And
so I'm pretty sure they make it easy for you to do like Amazon where it's in your area. So you don't have to drive from like Corona to Buena Park to
who
LA.
knows? Hopefully not, because I mean,
Maybe you just got lucky. Is that what you're
maybe I
thinking?
just got lucky that I was in Buena Park, because this is just the first time that I'm doing this. And so far I'm lucky that I was going to do one this morning before I was filming, but I knew that if I did, honestly, I wouldn't be present here. Like I literally would have been like half awake or some shit. Like honestly, I wouldn't be fully here or anything. So I'm glad I was able to cancel it, because you can cancel it just in case if something comes up. Point to that, like my gas was still good, and I was still even planning on doing fucking Instacart after too.
Oh,
but
well, congrats on your new job, Irma.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Because also going to Instacart, I've noticed I haven't been getting paid good as before at all. If I want to get a good amount like how I did with Amazon, dude, I didn't do that all day.
I feel like also it's the economy. If you really think about it, things are getting really expensive. So people don't really want to start ordering from Instacart anymore.
That's true.
Yeah,
I feel like
on
the area.
Yeah, it depends on the area and stuff like that. And the thing that I also hate about Instacart is that you have to wait around to get an order. At least with Amazon Flex, you put a time slot, you show up, and you know what time you have to be done, and you're out.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Honestly, I really did enjoy that. So I'm definitely going to be doing this way more often. I'm definitely going to have to change up my sleeping schedule just a tad, because I slept in a little too... Well, I didn't sleep in too long, because I actually that night when I went, I only slept for 2 hours.
Ugh.
So,
girl, tired,
when I got home, I knocked the fuck out until like 2 o'clock, and I got home like at 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 5 hours at least.
Oh, okay. At least you got your rest.
5 hours. So from that, I was like in chinga, yeah, see. But overall, though, I'll definitely be doing that. And and it's going to be a new routine that I'm going to be adding into obviously like my daily life, obviously, because
it's playoff time, and you know what that means. Time to spice things up with PrizePicks, the best daily fantasy platform out there. Irma, you've got that big football energy, right?
Claro que sí, Danny. I'm all about turning my hot takes into cold hard cash. With PrizePicks, it's so easy. All you do is pick more or less on player stats, like will Lamar Jackson throw more than 250 passing yards? What do you think, Danny?
I'm saying more because Lamar's been on fire. And you know what else is on fire? PrizePicks Taco Tuesday promo, where they discount players' projection by 25%. You can't go wrong with that.
And don't forget the flex play feature. So even if one of your picks doesn't hit, you can still double your money. PrizePicks really looks out for their players.
Facts, and they make it easy to get your winnings fast, like 15 minutes fast. No waiting around, like when Irma decides what to eat for dinner.
Hi, Danny. Rude, but true. Anyways, here's the deal. Download the PrizePicks apps today and use code LTP to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 guaranteed. Repeat that, Danny.
You heard her. Download the app now and use the code LTP to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. So what are you waiting for? PrizePicks, run your game.
And run it like us, because we're always winning. PrizePicks, run your game. The reason that I did end up getting a job
It's because of what? What? Come on, tell the audience.
is because I actually just recently went to the doctor. Not my regular physician doctor, no. This is a doctor
For a brain transplant.
is to start the process for my gastric sleeve surgery. I know a lot of y'all are literally like, oh my God, finally, Irma, finally. You're finally like literally gonna lose weight. I'm actually really, really excited. Obviously, I'm still nervous and everything, but this is just the first step and the first appointment that I have already attended to. And I actually already took my first nutritionist class, which is on Zoom, which is actually a little more convenient, I'm not gonna lie, but it is 2 hours long, so can't complain.
And what do they talk to you about?
Changing the way that
you eat.
Changing that, and just changing the way of how not to binge eat, doing more exercises and having more protein and avoiding certain foods, because then you'll get constipated the first few days or the first few weeks or whatever. And then she was also just saying that you have to change the relationship with food. Obviously, that's the main thing. And there was actually about 40 people on that. So I'm just surprised from the amount of people that was on there. But there was some that was already recovering and they continue taking the classes or are about to and are just like asking these questions.
Okay.
Yeah, but the only thing that did suck about that, there was a few Spanish-speaking people on there, and there was this one lady in specific, like, hey, they said they were gonna have like a Spanish translator. Like, I barely understand English. They told me they were gonna have one, and the lady, she was a little bit like, well, I don't have one and I can't, so you're gonna have to ask one of your siblings or get a phone or something and translate it. So I just felt like it did come out for it, I'm not gonna lie. So I was kind of like caught off guard a little bit with that. The process so far is that I have to complete 2 nutrition classes and a psych evaluation. I am able to get bypass the 6-month counseling. It could be literally from a month.
Damn.
So
that's really quick.
It's really, really quick. It's still a lot for me to process. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still really anxious about it because I know I've already been put
sweating
under.
Even just because like of how quick like
I know.
Like
so
that
like,
is. But
and that's the thing.
Do you get to choose your class, the next class that you have to take?
No, it's like set. So if you miss it, you have to start over.
You just took one this week, so you're gonna take another one next week?
In 2 weeks, 25.
Oh, okay.
On the 25th.
And then after that, it's like another 2 weeks, and then they'll schedule your appointment for your psych.
Pretty much. No, the psych I have to like call like whenever like
when you're
in that
done
time
with that
frame.
class.
No, whenever like that time frame.
That's why. But once you're done with your last class, then you make the appointment for your psych evaluation.
You can do it before.
Oh wow!
So it's literally, if I want to do it like right now, I'll do it right now.
I'll do it right now. Listen to me. Yeah,
come on, I'm depressed. No,
but that is really, really quick.
So it's a really, really quick process. As I said, obviously I need to get my bag up to be able to like recover just in case if anything does pop up, because you never know. And so far from when I asked the nurse that helped me out that day, she was like, oh no, the insurance usually just covers everything. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, you said usually, I still need to ask.
Yeah.
Because you never fucking know. So that's the
reason
reason
you show
why.
up for surgery and they're like $10,000.
And I'm just like, let me
like,
head
can I
on.
suck your dick?
Yeah, literally, dude. I'll do anything. But literally, I just want to be able to get my money up and just be able to, you know, make sure that I'm good. Because if I'm going to be in recovery for a bit, like, I can't really be doing the norm. Like, if I want to get my extra money, like Amazon Flex, like, I can't be bending down. I am currently actually vlogging the process. So you guys are getting like pretty raw footage of what is exactly going on behind the scenes. But that video will be up once everything is basically set in stone. So honestly, I'm not going to lie. This is the only time you guys are going to be hearing from it until it gets done officially. So I just want to lead with an anticipation for you guys, because I know there is a lot of commentary and a lot of things that people love to say and still think that I actually got the sleeve. But here, saying it again, I've never gotten that.
She's about to get it.
I'm about to get it. And the procedure that I got was the gastric balloon prior, which was only temporarily in my stomach because they eventually take it out. So with that being said, I'm happy that it's already starting the process, because not only me am I getting it, but a friend of ours is also getting it very, very soon. So I feel like...
So you're going to be gastric
yes,
sisters.
We're going to be, you know, like helping each other out, texting each other like, hey, how do you feel? Like, you know, and obviously I'm so happy because since Alan has gotten it before too, like he's going to be able to tell me like, oh, like any tips and tricks too and everything. So I'm just really happy that everything is just aligning. So at least I'm going through it with somebody else around the same time, so I won't feel as antsy about it.
Just stay tuned, you guys, because Irma will give us a full-on update. We have already been knowing, of course, about this, but this is a little bit of new information that Irma is telling me right now. So hopefully everything goes through with Irma, but let's move on to...
Sip of the week.
Hey.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be a bass drop.
I'm just kidding. No, I hate DJs that do that fuck up bass drops.
Yeah, that was you.
Oh, sorry.
You were that DJ.
But for this week, Irma decided that we would try Red Bull again. But you guys already know Red Bull lately has been coming out with a lot of flavors.
They have been coming out with
and
good
low-key,
ones.
I haven't even had a Red Bull in a very long time porque a mí me da miedo, because like I low-key do like to drink coffee. Like, oh dude, I shouldn't even had coffee, because since I had coffee now I'm gonna, anyways,
I
shouldn't
shouldn't even thought of that because I got the Red Bull, so that's
yeah, but
on my
it's totally okay. It's totally okay. I don't think I'll die. Maybe I'll just try a sip. That's why I haven't had Red Bull, but let's try out this week's, which is the Amber Edition Red Bull. Is that what yours says?
Mine is the Yellow Edition.
Ooh,
okay.
I wonder what Amber is, but mine is a strawberry apricot.
Mine is a tropical, so I don't know what this flavoring can be, but we will see. Hopefully, I don't kill you. Red Bull.
I love Red Bull. If I could have a Red Bull every day, I could, but low-key, I know it's really bad for my heart.
It's really bad. So we haven't had this in a while, so.
Oh, I love it! I love this one!
Oh, this one's good. I don't think
you're gonna love this one.
Can I try it?
No! I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I think that one's like more piña.
Oh, yeah, but that smells good.
Oh, my God. This one's better.
For me.
This one's better. Thank
No, that's mine.
Thank you. I keep up.
Strawberry for me. This would be so good with tequila.
Honestly.
So, catch me having a heart attack soon.
You know what's funny? I've been wanting to try. Yeah, persinete. I've been wanting to try, you know, that Sofia does those drinks with half and half.
Oh, I know.
I've been wanting to try that so
low-key,
bad.
I feel like I'm just a hater when it comes to creamers and like
it's because it is
weird
sweet.
things.
It's
like,
it's
I don't
really
know.
sweet. I'm not a sweet like creamer like that person either. Because honestly, with my coffee, all I need is coffee and fucking oat milk, and I'm set. And if it's the fucking midnight mocha from Coffee Bean, then that's the only acceptable thing, you know. But literally, dude, I'm very strong with like not liking too much sugar in my fucking shit. You get me? I love a milkshake, but like if it's really sugar, oh girl.
Yeah, no, and they do a lot, and they put a lot of like syrups on it. So like I don't even like syrups in general, so I don't think I'll try it. I'm a raw dog type of person. This is already like a good flavor, and it still tastes like Red Bull, so I don't think tequila? I need to add anything else.
No, just tequila.
Yeah, just tequila.
Cheers. Cheers.
Well, Loki, you could have up to 5 coffees a day, so this is equivalent to like 3 more coffees, so like I should be fine.
Wait, really?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm making up in my mind.
Literally, because this has a lot of sugars. It has total sugars 26 grams, and it includes another 26 grams of added sugar.
Oh, bye, honey. That's why it's so good, and everybody's obsessed with it, bitch.
It's so delicious.
It's really good, but
I know you guys had a lot to say in the comments last week. As much as you guys are bipolar, we're bipolar bipolar as well. And we love a good conversation. So thank you guys so much for commenting on last week's episode because everyone's opinion is valid, but not true.
It's only if we want it to be validated.
But let's move on to the first comment. This one's from at La Chiva de Sane. Danny is being a low-key yes man. They gave you advice to live your life, but you don't have to film it. Like another comment said, if Ashley had made that video, they would be like, girl, what the fuck? Why did you put that out there? We got a lot of comments talking about me and talking about how sometimes I give really bad energy. I always give really bad energy. I'm so sorry. I feel like I need to like do something. Like I need like a good cleanse, low-key, because if that's like my energy, like the way that it's reciprocating, I don't like it. But anyways, point was that a lot of people were telling me that I wasn't chiming in or I wasn't talking as much. From the very first seasons of Let's Talk Pendejadas, I got a lot of criticism from you guys letting me know that I interrupt Irma a lot or that Irma interrupts me a lot and that we need to give each other our time to speak. And that's what we learned is that now when Irma has like a story time or I have something to say or whatever it is, we give each other our time and we'll make any commentaries afterwards. Also, when we're talking about what we're talking about, we don't stir away from the topic and we talk about something completely different from what we were currently talking about because bitch, I'm a hothead. So like as soon as you bring up a different fucking conversation, I'll talk about that conversation and forget about what I talked about.
I ramble too, so
yeah, so like whenever Irma has like a story time, I want to respect her time and give her time to speak and say things the way that she wants to. That's kind of all I really want to say about that. We both understand that we have to give each other our time and that we don't have to keep interrupting each other because sometimes when we do interrupt each other, you guys have mentioned to us that you guys can't even understand us.
Yeah.
It's nothing like personal. I'm not trying to ignore Irma. I'm literally listening to Irma all the time. And as I have mentioned, if I am on my phone, it has nothing to do with me ignoring Irma. I'm a very active listener. I'm actually way better of an active listener than Irma and Alan.
I can barely multitask.
Yes, as soon as Alan and Irma are on their phone, they block out the world. As soon as I'm on my phone, I cannot block out the world. Like I am listening to everyone around me. And most of the time I am looking at the script. There's occasions where like if Alan asks or Alan texts me or my mom texts me, vice versa with Irma, she will text really quickly, you know?
It's just a vice versa thing that we have.
Yeah, it's just we're just both respecting our times. I did get a lot of comments saying, well, Danny, what would you think if your sister posted that? What would you think if your mom would post that? Like, don't you think she would have the reaction? And one thing that I want to let you guys know is don't compare our mothers. Why? Because our mothers are two completely different generations and they grew up completely different. The way that I grew up when it comes to the conversation about sex, my mom has always been very open arms about it. She had a conversation with me about sex. She had a conversation about it with Ashley as well. And as of lately, we have been having a conversation about who's going to tell Noah and how are we going to tell him? Because we're really comfortable with that. Even when Alan had came around, like my mom would joke around about who takes it up the ass and you know stuff like that. Literally, because we're very comfortable about that. It's nothing that is
very taboo. That what it normally is in a Mexican culture, and in my case, my mom is. It's very taboo in our case. And just imagine your mom grew up literally here when she was like 15, 16. My mom grew up here when she was already like fucking 28. Like when she literally was pregnant with my older brother, she came over here. She already grew up with her life over there in El Rancho. Like she already has her ways of viewing things, but your mom had the experience of being here and how open it really is compared to how it is being grown in the rancho.
Yeah, and how I mentioned in last week's episode how as soon as I felt scared that I had an STD or something after having sex with multiple guys, like I was very open to my mom and I went up to her with confidence and I was like, hey mom, I did this. And like I told you guys, my mom, maybe she'll judge me at the moment, but she didn't judge me the way that Irma got judged at the moment. That's what makes it a lot more different. So let me answer, maybe if Ashley did post a very similar video, my mom would have probably not blown up in that way. My mom would have been like, why would you post that? And then my sister would be like, oh, because I want to. And then she'll be like, well, maybe don't you think that you were a little bit too, this and that? And then, my mom and her will have a conversation about it. But it's not a conversation the way that Irma had expected it. She didn't expect this type of conversation to come out of her mother.
I really didn't, honestly. It was just a completely different reaction. And again, it just goes back to how how she's able to communicate, because your mom has been able to communicate with you guys ever since she was a kid, and she had to because she was like a single mother and she was just trying to be able to provide. But the fact that my mom, it was just a different way that she was taught on how to teach her children and how to communicate with her children. My mom wasn't there emotionally, but I'm happy that your mom was there for you guys emotionally, and that's the bonus.
But before we move on to that conversation, let's move on to the next comment.
This comment is from Denise Diaz 4. If you can't accept that your children grow up to be adults and their own person, then they don't have kids. She could reach out to her daughter and express her concerns, and that's it. Her mom definitely handled the communication terrible. At the end of the day, it's Irma's life and she can choose to live however she pleases. And that's the thing. I am an adult. I'm literally pushing 30 already, and I literally know what decisions I can make. I know what to produce to protect myself. I know what the responsibility is to being an adult whenever you're having these intimate moments with a man or a partner or lo que sea. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, she obviously didn't communicate the way that she should have, but that's the thing that she's trying to learn now, which is okay. Because at the end of the day, as we mentioned, she just got raised differently. And that's the thing that I'm not gonna negar my mom over, because at the end of the day, it's not her fault.
Yeah, you're not going to hold her accountable for something that she didn't know. And I'm glad that now she'll be able to know how to raise her child, because she still has a baby
exactly. And that's the thing with Mexican parents, and I don't know if it also goes with other cultures as well, but specifically with Mexican cultures, it's hard for parents to let go of their kids, especially when you're living still with them under their roof. They still see you as a child, even though like they see you being independent or lo que sea. They still want to do a way of babying you. At the end of the day, my mom's just doing her best to protect me, to make sure that I'm good in this world, because obviously she already grew her life and her years, and she just wants to make sure that I'm not hurt. She just wants to make sure that I'm being safe and that nobody literally just messes with her daughter. That's literally it. She just wants to be able to still hold that, but that's something that my mom soon enough is gonna have to let go, because just imagine once I move out, at the end of the day, like that's just part of growth, and that's just a part of being an adult, and that's something that my mom is just gonna have to accept. And from the reaction that I got, obviously it wasn't correct, but she was just being a mom, and I'm not gonna blame her for that. With that being said, let's move on to the next comment. This one is from @LunaAmor878. It's a red flag for a guy to be saying all those things after only meeting for the first time. Him also questioning if you're not seeing other guys is really weird. He has no place to question you about that. This guy only sees you as someone who he wants to hit, and that's it. If I was you, I'd run for the hills, girl. This guy sounds like a weirdo. And in response, @Debbie0111 said, it's called love bombing. How she didn't pick up on it is beyond me. And in response to that, from @Laurel794, exactly, poor Irma. She's new to dating and never been in a relationship, so she's likely believes him because of her need to be acknowledged.
I'm gonna tell you something. I know that sometimes when you have your little spurts of I'm super horny and I want to go fuck a guy, I feel like, yeah, you can do that, and you can definitely go hook up with whoever you want. You don't have to have any strings attached. That's why it's called a one night fucking stand.
Exactly.
But I feel like we live in a generation where it's looked down upon that when you go through an app and you don't know one and you go hook up with them, it's very shameful. But why is it not shameful when you go to a fucking bar, you meet someone, you only grind on them for 5 seconds, and then you go and hook up with them? How is that not shameful?
It's the same thing.
But it's the same thing. But one thing that I did want to tell you is that I feel like maybe you should start looking for men that want to start relationships, so you know the difference, because you don't know the difference right now. Exactly. You just know that, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go on this app to not look for a relationship, but to look for sex. So now you kind of have to go in a different route, because you're like, well, yeah, I have needs as well, but I also want a man or whoever you want, So maybe now your new venture should be like, you know what, fuck it, like,
let me go to a bar.
No, not only go to a bar. These men need to take me out on a date. And if we fuck that night, fuck it, we fuck that night because we had a good fucking night.
But at least he treated me out to a dinner or something.
Correct.
It's a start of at least something. And I will agree to that. I feel like I have gotten to that point, because after this guy, like, of the whole situation, him Snapchatting me and everything, I've been a little bit more adventurous out of like, okay, what guys out there are actually down to like take me out on a date or something. I definitely discovered a new term, love bombing. I'm still kind of trying to like understand it a little bit, but I feel like I also get a little like sprung or a little bit like, oh my God, like this guy.
Like, thank you so much. Yeah, like, because you are not used to getting that attention.
I don't know what, as he said, I don't know what the difference is of like a guy actually trying to get to know me or a guy just there like wanting to fuck and just saying that shit pa que me siento más bien or anything. Like, girl, I don't know what the difference is. So obviously I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna be like, girl, yeah, she's making me feel good. All right, fuck it. Let's hang out again. If you're gonna continue making me feel that way, cool. But there's boundaries to it because I'm not only just a fucking toy to fuck. That's the thing that I need to captivate as well. And as you said, if we end up fucking at the end of the night, shit, fuck it. It's because we had a great time and we actually got along. There's nothing wrong with that. And the thing is, with me not knowing the difference between the two, I'm gullible myself, bitch. I am very gullible to the point where like I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. Like, come on,
or if he's just complimenting you to get more out of you.
Exactly.
Like to like suck your hooves or like suck your titties.
Exactly, to get the most out of me. And that's the thing when he would say like, oh, I'm not messing with any other girls or anything like that. Of course, I don't know if I'm going to believe that. Like, what the fuck? But then at the same time, with him telling me like, oh, you're gorgeous, baddie, I'm going to cuff you up or anything. I'm just like, oh, really? You want me? Like, girl, like, I need to figure that shit out because that's also the reason why I don't know if I even want to go on these dates, even though I say like, oh, I'm Snapchatting these guys, because what if they actually just want to fuck at the end of the night and they're just like, fuck it, like a meal is nothing. I can't rely on that app. I can't rely doing online shit. Like, it's not always going to be pretty perfect like that because realistically, a lot of people are on here because they're either fucking, obviously, wanting to hook up, cheaters, all this fucking shit. And maybe there is some people that actually do find the love of their life through there because there has been successful stories, but how often does it happen? It doesn't happen as often at all. I generally just really need to like let that like boundary go and like stop overthinking whenever I have those moments with those guys. And honestly, you just slap me at those moments like, bitch, remember what the fuck you said? Stop being like that, you know? Because, girl, that's what's preventing me to actually figure out what it is with what is a hookup and what a relationship could be like. I still have a lot of learning to do, and it's okay if I'm oblivious about it sometimes. It's just gonna have to be a learning lesson. With that being said, let's move on to the next comment. This comment is from @Glender94. I hope you can make amends with your mom. Give her some grace too. A lot of our Hispanic moms are so embarrassed by our actions because they were raised to care about what others think. Just have a conversation with her when you're ready and explain to her that our society is different these days and more accepting. Not just that, but sex talk can be educational to plenty of people. I'm sure you guys will get past this. And you are correct. I officially finally had a talk with my mom. I think it was after a week that we kind of were keeping our distance. There was a moment that I did bump into her and like, you know, we didn't even interact or anything. I would just leave without even saying like, oh, I'll be back or anything, which I normally would do. It got to the point of like, okay, girl, like I can't keep having this kind of tension at all with my mom anymore. You have to remember that you only have one mom. There's no other person that's gonna love you and care for you more than your parents.
Irma's a very emotional person. So as soon as she leads with like anger, that's her first thought is like anger, and she doesn't think about anything else. So it did take her a while for her to be like, okay, I need to talk to my mom. But I had also been mentioning to her every single day, have you talked to your mom? Have you talked to your mom? Have you talked to your mom?
Nope.
Why? Because I thought it was a very simple conversation to have with her mom, because as much as I knew that her mom didn't understand, it was Irma's job to teach her. And I knew that, knowing how her mom is, being a very loving and open-armed woman, I knew that she was gonna accept her with a lot of love and a lot of understanding. And that's all that really needed to be done, was just to have a simple conversation about the relationship that you wanted to have with your mom. And like how I told you beforehand, the universe placed this interaction at this time because you yourself had said, I want to have a better relationship with my family. And this is a very good way for you to do it. And I had kept telling her, friend, go talk to your mom. And I would even get frustrated. I was like, dude, it's just a simple conversation. If you're just still thinking about it in a negative way, then you're not ready to have this conversation, and you need to be an adult. Think positive. She's your mom. It's a simple conversation.
What's the worst that she could do?
Kick you out? If she kicks you out, then you know where you stand.
Yeah. And that's the thing where I'm happy because literally it got me out of my comfort zone. And that's the thing that I was struggling with. I just didn't really want to like open up and be vulnerable like that in front of my mom because I'm rarely vulnerable at all. I'm never really vulnerable with my mom like that or anything. I would even have them help me like, okay, how should I like make this conversation flow? Because as mentioned, like when it would get brought up, I would still feel some sort of way towards it because I still had emotions towards it. I still was feeling like this, like anger and how upset I was like I was just still feeling a lot of emotions. So when they would bring it up and everything and I'm like, okay, well, this is how I'm gonna react and like and it's like, no, I shouldn't react like that. Like it really did need a moment to like just flatten out. And then when the conversation would come up, I think it was that day that I was gonna go talk to her, like I just started getting like anxious and I just started crying because I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck? Like I was just overthinking everything again. And I was just thinking again more of like, I can't believe my mom said, like I'm just still processing like what my mom's, the things that she said to me and everything. And that's when they just kept on being like, well, girl, like you're gonna have to like have this convo because it's not okay to have that kind of like mindset and to just keep on living day by day thinking like that. Like if anything, it's not healthy for me at all. That's not good for my mental health, and I doubt that's good for my mom's mental health. I don't want her to also be thinking like very like, oh my God, let me eat, like constantly thinking like that. That's toxic as fuck. With that being said, I get home and I see her and I'm like, oh, hi mom. And she was like, hola, like very still a little cold. And I was just like, okay, it's okay. She's still, you know, probably a little upset because also I haven't really talked to her. And eventually I was like, hey, are you busy? Obviously she was like all folding clothes and everything. And she's like, oh no, aquí nomás ando doblando ropa. Normal conversation at that point. So I was like, okay, good. She's
like
good.
Everything's good.
Okay, everything's good. Everything's calm. And I was like, oh, well, mom, you know, I just wanted to like have the conversation about what happened now that we're both calm and like we already processed our emotions and everything. So I just want to have a conversation about it. No yelling, nothing of that sort. Just simple convo. She's like, oh, okay. And I just started off with telling her, were you told about the video or did you go watch it? And from there, she was like, your tia did end up telling me about the Christmas vlog. So I went to go check it out. And then I saw the video below that, the hookup story. And that's when I watched it. At that moment, honestly, I was like, fuck. Like I honestly really don't that she didn't watch it, but I was like, fuck, she really did have to watch it. So I was like, okay, it's okay. She already watched it.
She'll download it on her phone.
Literally, she's like,
this is
evidence.
What you said.
Literally, dude. And so I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like she already saw it. I can't really do much about it. Obviously, I had a lot of things to say about my tia being like a chismosa and everything and all that stuff that last week. So I will say I take all of that back. And I am so sorry to all the stuff that I said to my tias because I love them so much. I just really thought that they would say something about it. Now I learned that if they do say my name or mention me, it's because of something positive what I uploaded. It's not nothing negative. So that just confirms that it was just never in a negative intention that whenever they bring me up. So I'm now happy about that. I still haven't blocked those, so I don't know if I should have blocked them or not because sometimes I'd be posting, you know, like marijuana shit. So it's like, I still need to keep my safety there because my mom does not support the whole smoking thing. And when my mom said about she watched it and everything, she started explaining how she was feeling. I just felt like it was not okay for you to say that. I just felt like it wasn't a way to talk or it wasn't a way to express yourself and it wasn't a way for you to let the whole world to know all of that. Like I feel like that's something that you should keep to yourself. Like I didn't think that it would be something that you would be so vocalized about or anything. Like that's just something that's not like a normality. Like I honestly didn't expect you to even upload that. And I just knew that you're not like my baby no more. Like I just want to protect you and everything. Like I just want to do my best as a mother and everything to just make sure that you're all right and you're being treated right and you're being respected. She was just acknowledging a lot of how she felt that day. And she acknowledged of what she did was wrong. And I give my mom so much props for that. I didn't have to tell her that, but she processed that herself. But not just herself, because of the help of my aunt as well. My mom told me that she even was on the phone with my aunt. My aunt even told my mom, look, you have to understand, for social media, she has to do what she has to do. She has to give what the people want and what she wants to do and what she wants to express. It may sound bad, but she was like, she has to get the views. That's just how social media works. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's true. Is it not or is it not true? Obviously, the way that I did say things were very vulgar and I should have kept it PG be 13, but I just did tell my mom just to keep her more like on a clearer mind that I did add more salsa to the tacos in the video just so it could seem more exaggerated. So don't write me out, y'all, all right? I just had to say that just so she could have more that peace of mind. I will say props to my tia, because my tia pushed her to help her to process the things more carefully and understand where I'm coming from. And my tia successfully did that. So thank you, tia. I appreciate you so much. I'm sorry for all the bad things that I said and everything. There's still tias chismosas out there. There's never not gonna be, because if
and you're
anything,
like, but just not mine.
But just not mine. You know, like I just want to take everything back. So I'm formally here apologizing and everything. So good thing I didn't confront her or anything, because just imagine if I did, dude.
Well, she probably hates you now.
Imagine, dude, because there's a block. I heard out everything that my mom said, and I told her, I was like, I totally understand you, Mom. I get where you're coming from. You're trying to protect me. You're trying to do your best to just make sure that I'm not seen this certain way. But you have to understand the way that you approached me wasn't okay. There's a way of communicating with me. There's a way to handle situations, but this situation that happened wasn't okay. If you came up upon me of like, hey, mija, eso no está bien, or to guide me, and once I told her that, I was like, look, you're not a horrible mom. Don't feel like that. It's just that you weren't taught how to communicate. You weren't taught how to approach things. And also, intimate stuff is very taboo to you guys. It's not like my grandparents had a conversation with you, did they? They never taught you how to like communicate your emotions with them. If anything, as I said, they're just there to make sure you were raised, had a roof, had food, and that's it. And that's okay, Mom. I don't want you to feel like you're a horrible mom, because guess what? You're doing your best right now. For you to even take accountability for what you did was wrong, and seeing how you are supporting my sister's mental health by taking her to her therapy classes, to making sure that she's doing okay. You're doing good. You're doing amazing, Mom. Don't doubt yourself. And
she's learning, and she's still learning.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I told her. I was like, you're still going to be learning, but guess what? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you that, Mom. I'm here to communicate with you, and for us to get to the point where we could just all communicate as siblings, as a family, where we could feel comfortable to talk to you about just anything. I don't want to create this weird tension or uncomfortability, because realistically, that's how it's been feeling lately. That's why I don't go to these family events, or I don't want to come to certain things or tell you certain things, because I'm not comfortable. I feel like I was just always that black sheep that like just couldn't be myself. And guess what? Social media is my outlet where I could express myself. I'm able to let go and be like who I wanted to be for so long. And that's just my outlet. And I just want you to be able to understand that. And I just don't want you to feel like anything that I put out there that you need to be concerned or you need to be watching out for me or anything. No, Mom. You taught me well to protect myself. Oh my God, it's getting me emotional to see about it. What the fuck? You just always knew what to do right as a mom to protect me and to do the right things. It was just the way that you communicate things wasn't the way that you were taught, and it's okay. Just so you won't feel like you're oblivious of the things that I'm doing, just know whenever I do these adventures or go out with these guys or anything, don't think I'm not being careful. No, it's just the way that you communicate with things wasn't the way of doing things, and that's that, you know, and it's okay. And overall, she literally apologized and she understood, and she was just like, yeah, mija, I totally get it, and I'm sorry that, you know, I came off that way. I just really didn't know, and I was just feeling so many emotions, and I now understand what you got to do, and I understand that this is a job that you have to do, and it gives me so much happiness, because she was like, y quiero que lo logras, quiero... She was saying that I want you to lograrle, and I really do hope that this works out for you. I'm wishing you so much the best. I want to support you. I want to like all this stuff and everything, and I just really wish you the best, and I just want you to be able to continue doing what you're doing without me stopping you and everything. And I was like, see, and I'm happy for that. I'm really happy that you support me, and now I'm glad that we have that conversation, because after that conversation, honestly, guys, like, I've been so comfortable filming at home now. That tension or that weird that I would be like, ooh, like, is gone. I literally just filmed in the restroom just because I was like, fuck it. Who cares if they hear me? Obviously, I'm respectful. Like, hey, anybody needs to use the restroom just because I'm going to be filming in here for a minute, or if you guys need to just knock or whatever, let me know. I'm just really happy that that literally happened, because now I'm literally here just like doing what I love and showing you guys what it is being at my house and just being able to be comfortable and just seeing my mom support me and just being like, oh, you don't want to record this. Oh, you don't want, like it just makes me happy that it's gotten to the point with that. And obviously my dad's a different story. Like my dad's very, very hard-headed and very stubborn himself. And my mom even mentioned it when we were having the conversation of like, your dad's a different story. He honestly, nothing will get through his head, but just know that you have my full support and I understand where you're coming from, and I'm going to do my best to be more open-minded and everything, but your dad is just going to take some time, so just bear with him. And I'm like, I know my dad is always going to be like that, and I don't blame him because again, he didn't even have a dad after 8 years old. I could just imagine the different dynamic and stuff that he was raised to. I'm glad that I got out of my comfort zone. I'm glad that I was able to be vulnerable with my mom, and I'm glad that we were able to literally hug it out and just cry to each other and just say that we love each other and that
we'll move forward.
We're going to move forward, and just being able to be a daughter and mother relationship that, I've been wanting for a long time. So I know, I'm sorry that this was kind of like emotional. I really didn't expect myself to get emotional like that. I have a moment to process it, but saying it vocally like really does help me understand like, wow, like my mom really does like love
your mom is very open-minded, and your mom is,
and she's doing her best.
Is great at adapting change. I'm glad that you and your mom's relationship is going to be stronger, and hopefully it's stronger with your siblings, and I hope this doesn't change the dynamic with your family, because now, as you can see, realistically, not just your mom is being supportive and your siblings, but also your aunt. I'm glad that you know that you have your full support around everybody. But now that that's resolved, let's move on to this week's topic. And I have a quick question for all of you guys. Have you guys ever been friends with your coworkers? Are you guys still friends with your coworkers? And why? Because girl, I actually have never been fully friends with any of my coworkers.
If I say this, I might sound like a horrible person. If I'm working with you and we're friends, we're just work friends. Once I'm fired or once I'm gone, I'm sorry, but that's it. I'm just leaving it as is, because at the end of the day, you're doing your own life, you're doing your own work life. And at the end of the day, also, I don't want y'all like still talking about me if you're hanging out with me and telling everybody else what I'm doing with my life. They could figure that out themselves by following me, and that's it.
Well, to me, it took me a very long time for me to understand the difference between work and, your personal life. I have been given the advice a lot where it's like, oh, well, once you get into work, any of your problems are outside the door and you are here at work. And that made me realize a lot like, okay, you know what? You're right. I have to be business and professional only. Have you ever told a coworker something that you regret that they used it against you or anything like that?
I think it was just mentioning my social media thingies with everybody in my workplace, because I didn't mind the support because my coworkers were supportive, but because it led to getting the manager involved and her knowing my stuff. So just imagine me calling out, or just imagine me, like being hungover the next day or being late or whatever, and she sees all this stuff that I'm posting. But the thing with workplace, they can't use that against you over social media.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, my name is different from on paper at work than on social media, so that's not really me. But no, realistically, I feel like that's one thing that I feel like I low-key kind of regret sharing, just because, eventually they were going to find out, but it's just like, I should have been more vocal of like, hey, don't mention it to a lot of people though. Also, I would record my stuff there too. I would be editing there too. So I feel like I should have also set that boundary of like, okay, don't bring my like social media shit to work. But there was some videos that did good with me just uploading off.
I feel like mine has definitely been even just talking to them about other coworkers or talking shit about other coworkers, because they will not give a fuck and they'll tell everybody. That's where you start not being likable around, because it's like, oh, you're just talking shit. But realistically, I was never talking shit. I was always talking my truth, girl. Everything was true that I had said. They didn't work good. They were incompetent. They were dumb. Like, it was all true. Nothing that I said was wrong. But I feel like you don't need to say any of that. I don't need to give you my opinion about this person or that person, because then you'll use it against me. They'll be like, oh, but didn't you talk shit about this? Didn't you? And I don't like that.
What are some red flags that a coworker might not be truthworthy?
Look, honestly, with me, ever since I worked and was doing the social media thing, there's no way around it when you have been following me for like a very long time and you know of me. But I feel like the one thing that I always hated when I did social media and I also did work was when there was tea, not personal tea, but like tea,
social media tea,
and they were like,
what's going on with this?
Yeah, and I'm
Do
like,
you know
girl,
anything about that?
I don't like that, because I'm like, girl, like that's my personal life. Like, if I really wanted to tell you something about my personal life, I'll go up to you and let you know. But you're over here being super super fucking chismoso and you want to know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it wasn't even about my drama. It would be about somebody else's fucking drama or X, Y, and Z reason or just like problems in general. And they would try to take things out of me. And I'm like, girl, like, no,
Why?
like that's weird. I'm
No,
like,
that is weird. Honestly, that's going to be the same thing because I feel like I experienced that so much. And I know they didn't mean intentionally ill, but también, like, why would you even mention that? It just wouldn't, it doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. Like, if I'm not even talking about it, as you said, and I'm not mentioning it to the whole world or like anything of that sort, why am I even going to mention it if it's not my business at the end of the day? It's not my business. I'm going to mind my business unless it's involving me. Then obviously I'm going to say something, but I'm not going to vocalize it here at work or anything.
yeah, porque uno nunca sabe that they know them or whatever it is, and then they go off with the chisme, and then they fucking started rumor mill and stuff like that. So
exactly. Besides that one, another red flag, being careful with clicks. Clicks are a huge thing that you need to be very careful about, because there was a certain clique when I would work out of the warehouse where nothing wrong. It was just like many señoras and everything, and it's usually them that's like just know everything and know the chisme and know the drama. So if you already knew that one of them is coming up to you and asking you all these questions, girl, you got to be careful what the fuck you're saying, because this girl is going to say everybody in that clique, and then eventually it's going to spread like a wildfire to the whole workplace.
Yeah, no,
dude.
when I first started working at T-Mobile, I went into I worked at a mall.
Right.
So when I worked at a mall, we only had like, maybe like 6 or 7 people, including me, working in that little tiny mall.
Yeah.
So of course we all knew each other, you know. I worked with them every single day, no matter what it was. I would still see them in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on when I worked. When I started working there, they already all had one clique.
Yeah.
I was just like the plus one.
You were just added on.
Yeah. And I was very young at the time, so I didn't really know about cliques in the workplace.
Yeah.
It was my very first ever big boy job, and like I was super excited about it. So like when I ended up working there and they had their own clique, they would exclude me from certain things. But then when there was drama, when there was drama between each other, they would come up to me, and then I would have an opinion and be like, yeah, that's fucked up. They wouldn't, but then they would go back and they would like rekindle, and then they would be like, Danny said this about you. So then now the whole clique hates me, and now they don't want to fucking hang out with me.
Yes.
But it's like, girl, like that's not my fault. Like you guys had a clique, you guys brought your problems to me. I stated my opinion, and if you didn't like that opinion you guys made up, that's not my fault.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up getting like super excluded, because they ended up having their own clique. They ended up just doing whatever they wanted. At that moment, once I realized that, I was like, well, they're fucking friends. That's fine. I don't need to fucking worry about it. I'm here to work. I'm going to be the best fucking worker at that workplace, because that's all I'm here to do is fucking work.
Yeah.
And all you guys are here for is chismear, go hang out with your fucking little coworker friends.
That leads to the next question. How do workplace friendships impact professionalism and career growth? Ooh.
I feel like that has a lot to do with if you want to succeed or not, because if you're too attached to your coworkers as like your friendship, you won't be able to grow. Why? Because you won't be able to step on them. Because at the end of the day, when you want to grow, unfortunately, you have to step on some people or be better than some people, and feelings are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Feelings are going to get hurt no matter what. And if you start thinking of the mindset of like, oh, I'm going to hurt my friend, you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to separate the
professionalism with friendship. And that's the thing that I struggled with a lot. That's why I feel like eventually I did end up getting fired from T-Mobile, because I started seeing the coworkers and like friends and everything, and I was just more focused of like, okay, who's working there? Okay, I'm gonna have fun today. Okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I don't have to do this, have to do that. Oh, manager's working that day. Well, at least this person's working, so at least I'm gonna still have fun. I'm gonna still, like, that's just the difference. Instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna still have fun, I'm gonna still have a good time. Oh no, okay, I must try to get these amount of activations. I'm gonna get this quota. I'm gonna be better than this person, whoever like did the most that day, or lo que sea. Like, instead of thinking that way, I was more like, lily gaggy, have fun. It's my playground.
Yeah.
I just get to like go to another place to have fun, and that's just not the type of mindset that you should have for work, especially when you're getting paid on the clock, girl. Because I took advantage of work so many times, dude. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this story before, but it's gotten to the point where I was just friends with everybody at my workplace. A manager wasn't opening that day, but it was just a lead, but I was really close to the lead. Like, we were just kicking. We were like, if you could consider work besties, I guess you could consider it that. And she called me at 9, which was the time that I was supposed to clock in, and she was like, where you at? And I was like, oh, I was supposed to go in. She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll be there. I get there an hour later, bitch. Just because I knew that like it was my friend coworkers. They got it. Not a big deal. I'm pretty sure they was still a little upset. They're like, damn, this bitch really fucking took her time. Like I came over there showered with my makeup done and everything, dude. And I still lied to my manager about the time that I came in. I won an extra hour when I wasn't there the whole fucking time. And it's not like they were going to fucking check the cameras. And it's not like my coworkers were going to rat me out. Because if they said something, I knew who it was going to be. And that's where it was going to be a problem. There's just a lot of things that you just have to be very, very like careful about, especially with work friends.
Well, have you ever been betrayed by a coworker?
Oh, girl.
I have been betrayed by one, but low-key, it wasn't really like, they were my friends, and I would think about it like, okay, well, if we're friends in work, like, I would think that you would have my back. And mind you guys, we used to work at a commission-based job, and commission makes you a lot of money if you're activating the right amount of lines.
Right.
So I remember this one time that I couldn't come into work because I needed to, like, do something for social media. I think I had to go to an event or something, but I knew that I had a really big opportunity the next day to have, like, a 6-liner open up. So I ended up telling one of my really closest friends at the time, and I told her, I was like, please, can you do this activation? And she's like, yeah. Didn't ask me anything about it. Didn't ask what we talked about or anything, but she took all the activation.
Oh, girl.
That cut my fucking paycheck almost $300 fucking bitch.
I would've...
And she didn't even apologize. She just said, I worked for it. I did it. You didn't do anything. So why would I
give you the lines?
Yeah.
There's no point. I did all the work.
Literally. The next question is, would you ever vent to your coworkers?
Ooh.
Low-key, I
honestly,
did.
Yeah.
I would vent a lot, and then I would catch myself and be like, oh, I said too much.
I'm saying too much. I don't want them to know too much about my personal life, dude. Low-key, I feel like with work friends, yeah, they're still your friends, but it's for work, but you just build this like comfortability and this connection.
And not only that,
and at the moment, you just get so caught off guard.
But not only that, I feel like also because you're sitting down and not doing much, and you kind of do want to conversate with someone, you get very vulnerable.
You do.
So it happens, and if they want to use it against me, it just shows that type of person that they are. Yeah. I know that I'm not going to use anything against them.
Exactly. So. Same here. I personally feel like I never did anything wrong with like my work friends or anything. If anything, we backed each other up. That's also why I felt like very vulnerable, because at the end of the day, like we would back each other up. If anything happened with the manager, like, oh no, I was there as witness. Oh no, this happened. Or like, you know, there was just a lot of ways to just get along with them. So it's the norm and it's okay. And if you're able to do that and still feel good with your coworker friends, then go off, queen. Like, you guys, I give y'all props for that, to be honest.
Well, both of us, we haven't been in the work field for almost like 2 years. I think I'm going on 3 because it was a year after that you got fired from when I got let go.
Yeah.
But I feel like now I know what who I am. I'm very confident right now. I'm very confident about who I am and what I want and what I see. So I don't think I'll ever let anybody take advantage of me like that. I'm definitely gonna split like the difference of like from work to, you know, my personal life if I ever do go back to work. But yeah, have you guys ever had like a bad incident with your coworkers? Are you still friends with your coworkers?
Yeah, because literally I feel like every single time, like when I quit or when I get fired, they always try to reach out again. And I'm not gonna lie, I did still hang out with them a little bit after. It got to the point of like, okay, like my life doesn't really revolve around them anymore, and like I can't really relate to them anymore because it's like it's not really work anymore and anything. So at the end of the day, I feel like also with the workplace, since you're working with the same people, it depends on the work, obviously. They always try to make it seem very family oriented. And realistically, yeah, that's great. That keeps like a positive workplace and everything. But sometimes that's where we keep ourselves vulnerable. That's why we lead to that vulnerability to saying all this stuff. It even has gotten to the point where they try to do that with me, because at first when I started working at the new store, after me and Danny got like separated from we were working together, I was very like, nope, I'm new here. Like, I'm just here to work. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't need to chit chat with anybody. That is what my mission was. But it got to the point where obviously there was a person that I didn't really like and got along with. It got to the point where she even told the manager, like, hey, what's up with her? Like, you know, we're trying to keep it very family oriented. We're trying to all get along and keep a positive workplace. And I'm like, I'm just minding my business. That's just the difference. And she literally came up to me when I was before clocking in, and she was like, oh, you know, I just want to make sure that we don't have a problem or anything. We want to be able to, like, you know, connect with each other. We could treat each other like family and all this stuff. And straight up, dude, I was like, look, I get it, but at the end of the day, I'm here just to work work and clock in and clock out. Honestly, I could care less of what you guys think or what you say or
girl,
anything.
you're not my family.
Like, girl, you're the least important person that I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally just a person that they just met and everything. And she for sure took that very like, oh, okay. And then after that, yeah, I would conversate with her and everything. I kind of like let it go a little bit, but I guess it did get to a point where like, you know, I got to that vulnerability. I would say all this shit, but it's normal and it's okay. And if you want to keep it that way, just to keep yourself like sane and also make sure that you get your job done and everything, I give you props for that, because honestly, I feel like that's the goal for every workplace. We don't want to involve too much of our personal life, because again, it just affects what we do for work, honestly. So,
well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I know that there was a lot of different things that we talked about today.
Literally so much in this episode, honestly, guys. It was literally such a roller coaster of so many things, but it's okay because I feel like we haven't been able to update you guys good on that. So that's it for y'all.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget to comment down below what was your favorite part. Come back up, click that like button and that subscribe button. And don't forget to follow us at all of our social medias at Call Me Danny,
at XO. And also don't forget to follow the Instagram and TikTok of Let's Talk Pendejadas. And don't think we forgot our positive affirmation.
And this week is inspired by Irma. Be who you are in your pride.
Love that.
Love
and that's
that.
true. I will be who I am.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.